and welcome to Season 1, Episode number 34 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches of 2020 with match number 17 on our list, which is the contest for the RPW Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship between the champion Zack Sabre Jr. and the challenger Will Ospreay from the Rev Pro High Stakes 2020 event held back on the 14th of February. Now, both of these men actually competed in a singles contest for the same championship back at the New Japan New Beginning show held 12 days prior. It is also a fantastic match that just missed the cutoff to making it onto the top 50 list. And it is a match that this contest builds from fairly significantly. I would recommend that you watch it prior to watching this match. It's not a prerequisite. This match still stands on its own. And in fact, in both matches, they actually use some of the same spots, which is strange because they build off of a lot of what they do in the first match, but they also repeat some of it. So again, it certainly adds a new layer to this contest, but this match does hold up 100% in its own regard. The story here is simple. Will Ospreay is one of the biggest wrestlers to come out of Rev Pro. That said, he's never held the British heavyweight title. He's had several attempts at taking a crack at it through the years, but he's never held the gold. This is his sort of last stand for it. Like I said, he challenged Sabre in New Japan unsuccessfully. So this is the match where, on his own home turf, he's going to try to take the title. The opening of this contest is very similar to the one from New Beginning. They do a lot of the same, just kind of classic wrestling with Ospreay shockingly holding his own on the mat with Sabre and establishing that he has a bit of a speed advantage. Sabre does something very smart that I liked in this match. He used a cravat very effectively in the New Japan match, so he goes to it very early in this match, knowing that it worked for him to help him control Ospreay in the initial encounter. So very, very, very smart in his regard. In hindsight of that, Ospreay, uses his speed advantage and goes for, a very early, almost kind of an arrogant standing moonsault, and he misses that. Sabre has it scouted, and he delivers, a brutal, just, neck twist, almost kind of like Ultimo Dragon-esque with, his legs around Ospreay's neck. That again sets the tone of what Ospreay was able to use to his advantage in the previous match might not work here. Ospreay's counter, came in, with a game plan, having studied Sabre, but Sabre is just as prepared for Ospreay because they have that familiarity there. Like I said, they use some of the same spots. There's a spot where, Sabre is just really disrespectful and kind of does, just some kicks to Ospreay's head, very disrespectful with it. And Ospreay floors him with a single forearm. That was a spot they did in the New Japan match. They repeated here. But then, like I said, they build off of a lot of what they did. So there's a spot where Ospreay goes for the Os Cutter. Sabre, counters it into a rear naked choke. Then very quickly tries to transition it to a half Nelson suplex, which is a sequence he used successfully in the New Japan match. But this time, Ospreay lands on his feet, having it scouted. They do a spot where the Os Cutter is countered into Sabre's European clutch that he uses, which they did near fall in the New Japan match, but Ospreay immediately, reverses that into a pin of his own, which was really cool. There was a great spot here that I really loved where Ospreay was up top and went for a shooting star press. Before he could go for it though, Sabre just rolled, pretty much completely across the ring. And then rather than Ospreay climbed down and try something different, he just flew almost the entire length of the ring and hit, a flying drop kick to Sabre, who was down on the mat, which was really cool. It just showed that Ospreay, was going for broke and was going to do everything that he could to try to win the title. They did another brilliant spot here. So in the New Japan match, Ospreay finally ended up hitting the Os Cutter after, several attempts, and Sabre rolled to the floor. So Ospreay was unable to capitalize and get a cover. So they hit the Os Cutter here. Sabre went, and Ospreay dove to stop Sabre from rolling to the floor, pulled him back into the center of the ring, and hit another Os Cutter. When I watched this match the first time, I thought that was the finish. I thought it was going to be a great finish, but Sabre kicks out, so they just kept it riding. The finish to the New Japan match was they did this exchange where Ospreay would go for the Stormbreaker, Sabre would counter it to the Cobra Twist, and Sabre ended up, taking Ospreay right to the mat with the Cobra Twist, turned it into almost sort of a triangle choke for the ref stop victory. So they did just a crazy good back and forth here with the Stormbreaker, countered it in the Cobra Twist, countered back on the Stormbreaker, countered back into the Cobra Twist. Zack finally got the Cobra Twist locked in. Ospreay grabbed the ropes, survived a little bit longer, but then Zack ended up catching him in the triangle, which was, like I said, how he put him away. They did a great tease where Ospreay, powered Sabre up and hit a Liger bomb. Sabre kept, the triangle choke held on, and it seemed like that was going to be it for Ospreay. But in one final feat of strength, he picked Sabre back up and actually climbed up the ropes and ended up hitting, a sit-out Liger bomb from the second rope to break the triangle, hit the hidden blade, and then finally hit the Stormbreaker, for the 1-2-3 to finally vanquish Zack Sabre Jr. and to finally capture the British heavyweight title. This was a great match. The crowd was apparently electric. It doesn't translate super well through RPW streaming service. But that said, loud crowd or not, this was just an incredible match. Both of these guys are so good. They obviously have the chemistry. They've, wrestled countless times throughout the years, and this is their magnum opus. This is their finest match, in my opinion. Again, the New Japan one is great. Watch that on New Japan World if you're able to, but this match can be watched on Rev Pro on demand. You can subscribe for the month, go back through the back catalog, and check out this contest. I believe this match also, as a one-off, might be on New Japan World. I'm not positive about that, but you can check that out too if you already subscribe. Speaking of subscribe, please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, follow on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50, and please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50.